Uh,
Recording in progress.
What's up, everyone? Coach Tony here with College Admission Secrets. Welcome back to the free trading here in our Ivy League Admission Secrets Facebook group. Today, we're going to do a really good time-sensitive kind of training. This topic today is how to start and write the Common App main essay. So if your child is applying to any of the Ivy League colleges, a lot of the top 20, top 50 colleges, a lot of them are going to be using the Common App when it comes to the submission portal. Yes, some schools do have their own ones, and some schools only have their own ones, two being like Georgetown and MIT, which Coach David, if you missed that training, let us know. Last week, Coach David actually broke down specifically the Georgetown and MIT app. But for the thousand of other Ivy plus Ivy plus top 20, top 50, top 100, over 1,000 colleges use the Common App to apply, and there's a main essay, the personal statement. So today in this training, we're going to go ahead and break it down and show you exactly how you should be approaching this and how to start this step by step here. So if you are joining me on Zoom, go ahead and say hi in the chat. If you're joining me here on Facebook, right, where we figured out how to go live on Facebook again, say hi together as well too. For those of you in Zoom, I'm gonna give you access to my doc. Some of you guys are saying it's a little blurry on your end, so let me go ahead and just drop it in the chat. If you guys want access to that, you guys can tune in, follow along. People are joining as well too. For everyone else, if you want the replays or want the docs, slide in my DM, send me an email, send me a text. I'll grab it over. I'll send you the link after the call as well too. Okay, so let's go ahead and start the entire process. So very first step, right? So first step we want to do is do not look at the prompts. This is a big common mistake that a lot of people do. They go straight to the Common App prompts themselves and like, okay, what prompt should I use to talk about? No. That's not what we recommend to do, because again, you might not be able to find the most important prompt that kind of shares who you are. So when it comes to the Common App essay, just a high level, you get one, right? There's one essay or prompt, right, that you get 650 words to talk about, right? So that's gonna be the structure for us to think about. So again, you only get one, which means you gotta make it count, right? So for those of you who are new to the Common App itself, there are gonna be some supplementals, right? Heads up, some colleges will have supplemental prompts in addition to this main one, right? However, this 650 word prompt will be sent to all Common App colleges. So again, this is the one prompt that all the schools are going to be looking at and seeing that you sent. So this is probably the big one, right? Because not every school has a supplement, but every single Common App school will be looking at your Common App main essay. So we want to make sure that is done correctly. So our true step one is we want to brainstorm, right? We want to brainstorm. We want to figure out what is it that we want to talk about, right? So we actually have a little brainstorm worksheet that we have our students work on. If you guys want the worksheet, go ahead and just like text me or email me the word brainstorm worksheet, and I'll go ahead and grab it over, but I'm gonna give you a little sneak peek of it, what we have our students do. So here's kind of the things. We have our students think of kind of what topics they want to talk about. And for each one, we give them a bunch of questions to think about for each one as well, right? So let's go ahead and we'll run through it with us together so you guys know what it kind of looks like. So when it comes to here, first thing we ask the students to let us know is this, right? What are 4 to 6 things that make you you, right? Each of these should be something different with 0 or little overlap. So things you want to think about is like interests, passions, identities, activities, experience, right? Minimum 4, maximum of 6, right? So these are things in high school. You want to keep these in high school that defines you as you. What things kind of make you up, right? So again, if you never had this, whatever it is, identity, experience, activity, right? Oops. You would be a completely different person. Not saying it's good or worse. It just means you will be a different person altogether there, right? So that's the biggest thing here. The best analogy for you to think about is Kobe Bryant, right? And a basketball, right? Does anyone, am I too old? Does anyone know who Kobe Bryant is, right? Basketball player, LA Lakers, rest in peace, right? Kobe Bryant and the basketball, right? So again, the question is, if Kobe never had a basketball, if he never played basketball, right, would he be the same person, right? And the answer is probably no, right? He would not be. Again, knowing him, he's very athletic. He has tons of perseverance. He'll probably do something with his life no matter what. However, it wouldn't be exactly the same, right? So that's something you want to think about when it comes to this section here, right? What are things that define you as you, right? So, for example, I'll do this right now, right? So, thinking back in me in high school, right? One thing I did was tutoring, right? I tutored math. Actually, let's talk about math first. I actually really like math. Math was one of my big things. I tutored. I love math. That's one of my big ones. I love math. I tutored as well too. But even that's kind of similar, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and put that even on one line because math and tutoring kind of falls hand in hand together. I did this program called the Explorers Program. For those who don't know, the Explorers Program is like for those who want to be police officers. My dad worked at the sheriff's department, so for me it was like, hey, part of it. At one time or another, I considered that the occupation for me, so that was a really fun. I went to boot camp. Is pretty much the thing there. Something else I did martial arts. Okay, so I did martial arts there. What else did I do? I love pro wrestling growing up, right? Love pro wrestling growing up as well too. That was a big thing that kind of made me who I was there. What else is there? Pretty much it. There's a lot bunch more, but I can say family, right? But that's that there, right? So I have these things, right? Assuming each you take these away, I'd be a different person. Not saying it's good or worse. I'll just be a different person altogether. Actually, I lied. Dual enrollment. I took a bunch of college classes that definitely made me who I am as well too. All right. So 6 things. These are my 6 things, right? So for each of these 6 things, right? The first thing I want to do, right? So after you have the idea, all right? Next step, right? Story time, right? So the next step is story time. So with each of these topics, right, there's going to be a story that I'm going to associate to each one. So again, when you told me tutoring, boom, I had a memory right away, right? So for example, I had a memory to math, love math, tutor. I actually had a memory of my teachers. His name is Mr. Camacho. Shout out to Mr. Camacho if you're watching this. Mr. Camacho's classroom, I served as a tutor, right? I served as a math tutor as well, too. That actually started me like, hey, I actually like this. That ended up me getting a job, me ended working and all as well, too, right? What else is there? The Explorers, right? I remember I got pepper sprayed, right? It's one of those, the test of the one of the last tests of the boot camp. They got pepper sprayed you. So I got pepper sprayed. That's a little fun, thinking back fun story, right? Taekwondo, I got my 3rd degree black belt, right? 3rd degree black belt during my time. That was a crazy test. Didn't think I can do it. Did it as well too. Next one, pro wrestling, right? I actually watched with my grandma, right? Watched with grandma whenever I think back to this and why I can, like by my Funko Pops, they're all wrestlers right over here, right? Big thing is going to be, I just kind of watched it with her a lot as well too. Growing up, I remember I sat down in the living room. She sat on the couch and we just kind of made fun of people. You guys know who John Cena is, right? My grandma didn't speak English, so she gave everyone nicknames in Vietnamese. She called him short legs because he wore shorts, so we call him short legs as well too, right? So that's that. Family, we grew up in a pretty low income family myself. For context, grew up in Orange County, specifically in Santa Ana, right? So I grew up in Santa Ana, not the greatest city in Orange County. I was a family of 8 living on my dad's income only. My dad's income was $30,000. $30,000 for a family of 8 was the thing there. Ask me how we survived, no clue. But that's kind of the family that I grew up in, and again, would not trade it for the world there. And dual enrollment, right? I dual enrolled, took a bunch of college classes as well too. I remember I sat in a class. I was the only high school student, and it made me kind of like a lot of feelings: proud, nervous, scared, anxious, like all these kind of weird feelings. But I remember this one specific class, and then it was actually cool, like thinking back of that moment as well too. Right. So now I did story time. Right. People want to know links. Right. Boom. Links. Right. So now I have my story time. Right. Next thing after story time. Right. Next step. Right. After this is I'm gonna go ahead and figure out most important. Right? So again, not these are all important to me. This all kind of made me who I am today, right? So without each of these, I wouldn't be the same person as well. So what you want to do usually at this stage is kind of just to order them, put them in an order from like the most impactful thing. Think of it as if for example, right, what I ate this morning, right? Let's say, for example, what I ate breakfast for me today, right? Breakfast there, right? That doesn't matter too much. Like if I ate something else, it wouldn't be a big deal. So I'm going to move it all the way to the very bottom, for example, right? So you want to kind of put this in a certain order. Not saying this is more important than the other, kind of you are, but it's saying this plays up, actually, not most important, most impactful. That's probably a better word. Most impactful. These kind of made me who I was today, right? Is the biggest thing. So let me kind of put this in order real fast. For me, let's say dual enrollment's okay, right? But I definitely put at the very bottom. Didn't mean too much there. Pro wrestling was cool in the grandma. But in high school, it means more to me now, now that my grandma's not here anymore. But back in the day, I took a lot of things for granted. So again, in that moment, 18-year-old Coach Tony didn't treat it as super, super high. Third degree black belt, I grew up in this in this field, so meh as well too. In terms of math and explore, one of these two will probably be my personal statement. These are probably the two big ones that kind of made me who I am. Let's say math tutor, right? And for me, I'm going to pick this because again, I can tie it. I'm like, right? At this point, I can probably tie in some of this stuff as well too, because I can tie in family, right? So I can talk about two prompts versus one. So for me, let's probably stick here. This is probably like the winning prompt for me there. Okay, so that's the thing there is the next step, right? So now I have the topic I want to talk about. Now we look at prompts, right? So we don't do prompts right away. We start with the topics first, then we go on to the prompts themselves. So let's go pull up the new prompts for the Common App. So if you guys look at the Common App, here are the new prompts as well too. So the first prompt is some students have a background identity interest that's so meaningful that their app will be incomplete without it. It sounds you players share your story. Number two, the lessons we take from obstacles we encounter can be fundamental to later success. We count a time when you face a challenge, setback, or failure, how it affect you, and what you learn from the experience. Next one, reflect on a time when you question a challenge belief. What prompted your idea outcome? Next one, reflect on something that made you reflect on something that someone has done for you that made you happy or thankful in a surprising way. How has gratitude affected or motivated you? Discuss an accomplishment, event, or realization that sparked a period of personal growth. New understanding yourself or others. Describe a topic, idea, or concept you find so engaging you lose all track of time. Why does that captivate you? What or who do you turn to when you learn to learn more? And number 7, share an essay or topic of your choice. Can be something you've written as well too. My recommendation for you all, avoid number 7. Avoid number 7. Don't do this one right here. It is too hard. Do red. It is too hard to get right, right? Because again, you have 6 amazing prompts that is really broad that you can talk about pretty much anything as well too, right? But we have that. However, here's the however question. You see how I say look at the prompts. I never say pick a prompt. We look at the prompt. So now you read through these, right? So now I'm thinking, oh, math tutor, I'm going through all these. Now thoughts are percolating through my head, right? Well, fun word, percolating through my head as well too. Now, In the words of Coach Art, for those who know, he's one of our strategists and head coaches in our program. In the words of Coach Art, let's dig deep. Dig deep as well too. In the words of Coach Art, dig deep. So in the brainstorm doc, we have a few questions, right? We have a few questions that we have our students think and consider when it comes to their story itself, right? So here's the question I'm going to have you guys think about. So again, keep in mind, my prompts is going to be about like my love for math and tutoring as well too, right? And I have the story of like helping students out in the classroom and how it tied to family, which I'll tell the story in a little bit because it kind of leads to that. Next, so then we have a bunch of questions for you to think about, right? Because this will help you kind of dig deep. Because again, when it comes to these prompts, it's not the story, right? So here's a quick personal statement lesson, right? Right? It's not the story that we're going after, right? It's the understanding of you, right? Here's the one thing a lot of people don't do really good on these prompts is they tell a big story, right? Most people tell a big story of usually like what happened as well too. However, think about this way. Are you going to be the same? Are you going to do the same thing when you're in college? Right? Because again, let's think about this way. Go back to my activities, right? For me, did I love math? I did love math. Did I love math in college? I did for a year until I switched majors completely, right? So I did, but I didn't finish continuing it. Tutor. Did I tutor? Right? I did tutor, but I didn't tutor math anymore. I tutored for like Avid and other things in college too. Did I do the Explorer program? I didn't because the Explorer program was only a local program at the high school itself. My family was always there, but I wasn't around them as much anymore. So again, a lot of the things that I kind of dealt with this, what I was trying to refer to, didn't kind of affect me there, right? Taekwondo, right? What happened there? I did join the Taekwondo team for a little bit. I got injured, my knee messed up. I could not compete anymore. So I just came to practice, but again, that kind of drifted apart. That opened up a few doors though for me, but that's pretty much it there. Wrestling, I still watch wrestling, so that didn't change pretty much all through college there. But as that, when it came to dual enrollment, again, I didn't dual enroll any more classes, but that helped me bump my standing up a little bit in there. So kind of even looking at me and my stuff, I didn't do a lot of the stuff I did in high school in college, right? So again, the what's is not that relevant. However, who you are stays with you forever. Right? Going back, right? The math, right? The idea of solving problems. I've always been a problem solver. Today, I'm still a problem solver. Tutoring was a solution to a problem I had. I'll talk about that, and again, that's kind of the teaser for you guys a little bit. The Explorer program taught me never to give up. One of the coolest feelings, coolest lessons I've learned doing this is that so it's a boot camp. So it's like they push you to your mental and physical limits, right? The big thing they told us, because you heard the bell ring. The bell ringing means someone quit is the whole thing. And during graduation for us, they told us for every student that quit, they quit on their free will. Meaning the drill sergeants put our hand there, but they didn't ring for us. Any student who rang the bell, they rang the bell because of them, not because of anybody else. So the takeaway of Goosebumps, the takeaway of that lesson is you control everything. If you want to quit, it's on you. You are quitting. Or if you're going to push through the pain, you push through the pain as well too. So that's a really cool thing I learned there. My family, I've been a very big family person my entire life. The way I grew up is still the way I am. I still hang out with my parents. I retired my parents this past year, so they get to hang out and enjoy retirement now as well too. So that's always going to be there with me. In Taekwondo, I actually opened a martial arts school. Fun little fact. I became a 5th degree black belt, moved up 2 more degrees, became a 5th degree, opened my own martial arts school, sold it a few years ago to go kind of more into college missions. Pro wrestling, I still watch it to this day. Tons of Funko Pops as well too, till to this day. Dual enrollment, fun little story. I opened my own high school. A few years ago, like 9 years ago. It's a dual enrollment high school. So all the students who go there, we dual enroll them at the stuff, right? Because again, I understood the impact of that. So you see how I didn't do the exact same things, but who I am stayed, right? So when it comes to these things, right, colleges are looking for why. Why did you do what you did? How did it make you who you are? And who have you become as a result? That is going to be the key of all this. So going back to the questions that we have our students answer, these questions, what did you do? What was your role? What was your position? What are your responsibilities? Again, these questions about my story, right? Not every question will make sense. And you're like, cool, let's skip that question. But for now, these you kind of see these questions are getting me closer and closer to those answers, right? What struggles did you go through, right? The who, what, where, when, how, right? How has this experience made you a better person? How has it changed your perspective on how you do things in life, right? What skills have you learned from this? What are some insights that surprised you? What did you learn about yourself that you didn't realize before? Who were you before? Who are you after? What aha moment did you get? When this happened, what core memory did this unlock? Big question we always ask our students a lot is why, right? So I'll kind of share a little bit of story so you guys can understand what I mean by this. So this is my story, right? So I went ahead and going back to example, right? I went ahead and I was always good at math, right? Always good at math. I was always good at math. I actually passed Calc 3, finished multivariable calculus as a junior in high school. So I was uber smart. They didn't have all the crazy math back then. Now they do. So juniors, you gotta go past that also now. But back in the day, that was like you wiped out everything clean. You're good to go, right? So I did all that then, and then my teacher, Mr. Camacho, right? I do thank him to put me down this path in life. He has, hey, you want to help out volunteering and just like helping tutor people? I'm like, yeah, that's cool. So I did that, right? And I tutored in his classroom. I was like, you know what? I kind of like this. Kind of like helping people as well too. And at the same time, I was trying to look for a job. Again, like I mentioned earlier, my family came from a low-income family, right? So again, for me, when I was like 14, 15, right? Low-income family, I was like 14, 15 when I realized the concept of money, right? So 14, 15, realized the concept of money. And then I realized, holy moly, my family's poor as well. So that was the realization at 14, 15. Holy moly. My parents, I don't know how my parents are affording all this stuff as well too. Basically, every dollar my dad made went straight to the rent, went straight to food. That's pretty much it. That's why I didn't grow up with a lot of toys, didn't grow up with a lot of things as well too. I realized that at that age. So for me, I was like, what can I do to make money? Because I want to work. I felt guilty now. I felt guilty. At this point, I'm like, hey, let me just make my own money so I'll take care of my parents, right? There's probably something here, right? That's probably why I wanted to feel this way as well too, right? Why did I want to feel this way? So why did I want to feel this way as well too? But kind of moving forward the story as well as I felt guilty. I tried to look for jobs. I looked for jobs as well too. However, no one took me. I applied to a lot of jobs. Did tutoring things that I had to explore. I did like security things. No one took me. No one took me seriously. I was a little kid. I was a little short kid as well too growing up. So no one really like looked at me twice as well too. Look at them now, right? But like back in the day, no one really cared about me, looked at me there either. So I couldn't find anything, right? So again, could I, right, in one world, just give up, right? One way, give up. Or number two, find a solution. Do I give up or figure it out as well too? You'll find out from my story. I always figure it out, right? And I think that's a concept of my life the last decades, right? Some decades. I always figure it out. Because why? What can I do now? I tutored. I wonder, what if I tutor and people pay me money for it, right? So I began to tutor for money as well too, right? So what my talked to a math teacher, he's like, yeah, I have someone you can start first with. So I worked with them and they gave me like $10. I was like, holy moly, $10. That was a lot of money for me at that time, right? Then I started tutoring one more person. They knew someone like, hey, can you help me out? Can you help me out? And it started rolling. I actually was quite good at tutoring, right? So that started rolling up. Then I started making 10, 12, 15, 18, 20. I was making $20. Don't tell the IRS. It was cash. So did that as well too, and then it was awesome, right? Made the money, made myself all this stuff, but oh, no, there's no but there. It's just basically I made money. I was able to take care of myself. Things I wanted, things I needed for school, I bought myself. Never had to ask my parents for help with that. I did that there. So again, I tutored money, made it happen. Made it happen as well too. So that's my little quick story, right? So again, what do you learn about me, right? What do you learn about me there, right? Number one is that feeling guilty. Why did I feel guilty? Right, why did I feel guilty as well too? It's because I think growing up I was a brat. Growing up I was a brat. Did not think my parents cared about me because again, compared to other people, right? I saw people around me who did. Parents did give them stuff. Parents who did buy people stuff. I'm like, wait, why did my parents buy me anything? Why didn't I do anything like fun growing up too? Right. So the biggest thing I learned here is like the understanding, right, of our family situation. Right, situation as well too. And for me, why? For me, as I kept figuring out, right, I persevere a lot, right? I have that tenacity in me, right? That never give up attitude as well too, right? So I think for me, that's what I share. You see how this story started off as a tutoring problem, a tutoring story, right? It started as a tutoring story, right? But it ended up being about my family, about why I am the way I am, and who I am the way I am. I'm someone who doesn't give up, who figure out a solution. I'm a problem solver, right? Problem solver. And then once I have these done, next step, pick the prompts with an S as well too. Because now I get to go back to all these prompts and say, which ones can I talk about? Right? So number one, do I have a thing that is so meaningful that is incomplete? Yes. That'd be a talent, right? I have a talent for not giving up. Number one could work. Oops, number one could work for me, right? Oops, number one. What else can I use, right? Going back to the prompts as well too. Number two, obstacles, learn life, face a setback, failure. Oh yeah, I got tons of failure. People said no to me, right? The story of the no from all the people who I applied jobs for. So too, and I bounced back. Number three, question a challenge belief. Not really, right? Could I could have, but not. This doesn't scream at me yes right away as the other ones. Number four, reflects on what's done for you to make you happy. Could I be very creative and to my parents being the way they taught me? I could, but again, not a very straightforward yes for me. Number five, discuss an event, accomplishment event that sparked a period of personal growth and understanding of yourself. I could, right? Not as strong as 1 and 2, but I'll say yes, right? Accomplishment of making the first dollar online, no, my first dollar there as well too. That was big. Different story. First dollar online was another big learning lesson for me as well too. This one, a topic that finds soul, you lose track of time, captivate you. Kinda, right? And I think high school Tony will say yes because I really like math. I did a bunch of math puzzles and math problems growing up. So now I have these 4 prompts. 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Then I get to pick one. The prompt doesn't matter. People focus too much on, oh my God, which prompt should I do? Just pick one, right? Out of these 4, which one's the strongest? I think 1 or 2 is probably the strongest for me. Let's go ahead and do number 2. Right? Number 2 will allow me to final choice. Right? This one allows me to talk about that like no one saying yes to me kind of story as well too, right? So I have this. Now, right? A little post tip for you guys, right? Each of these questions in the Common App has multiple parts. Each question has multiple parts to them, right? So for example, when it comes to this one, right? First part is recount a memory where you face a challenge. How did it affect you? What did you learn? There are 3 questions that I need to answer in this prompt specifically. So when I start writing this prompt, right? I want to go ahead and talk about each of these answers first, right? That way I know that I'll be answering the prompts. That's the key number 1. A lot of people don't even answer the prompt. It's really silly thing to think about, but people don't even answer. They make up their own prompts. You have to answer the questions first, right? Then you tie it together. Then after I answer the questions, right? what does this tell the reader about me, right? AKA, this is the why, how, who parts as well too, because this is where I'm going to talk about my perseverance. This is where I'm going to talk about now my family growing up and adding those elements in here as well too, right? You're going to keep writing until first draft, right? Few tips first draft. You should always write in I, me, my as well the entire time. Keep it in first person. I know it's hard because school doesn't let you, but you want to keep everything in I, me, my writing as well too. At your very first stage, no intro, no conclusion. No conclusion, right? We will probably add it at the very end to just tie things in a little nicely. But for now, no intro, no conclusion. And we want us to be over 650 words because later on we're going to cut it down. It's much easier to cut things down than to keep adding more things to it. Okay, so I'm just going to be answering the question. So again, recount time. And I told you the story. So if someone transcribed what I said, I would just copy what I just wrote, copy what I just said. Boom, that's my first part. How did it affect you? I just kind of told you that through the story too, right? Take that, boom, right here. What I learned from the experience, I told you that as well too, right? Of this and this, boom, copy it, put it here. People overcomplicate this first draft. It's not that hard to do, right? So once you have that, then you start editing, right? The edits as well too. And when it comes to the edits, 30% story, 70% why, how, who, right? Less of what I can see, right? More of what I can understand. I want more understanding statements about you rather than things I see. That's a big issue that a lot of students do, right? A lot of like story stuff. Versus I kicked the ball. That's something you can see. You can see someone kicking a ball. I realize our family was poor, right? Boom. That's an understanding statement. I kicked the ball. That's a visual statement as well too, right? That's the difference here, right? So that's it. So our second, third, fourth, these drafts, our goal is to keep expanding understanding of who you are itself there. Then once you're towards the end, right? Towards the end of the entire prompt, what we want to do now is we want to start cutting it down, right? We want to start cutting the prompt down, right? You ask yourself, right? If I take out this sentence, would the entire prompt still make sense? And if yes, take out. That's it. Is that right? If you take it out, it still makes sense. Take out because you're just saying extra words now is the biggest thing, right? So you start cutting things down to make it like closer and closer and closer. Now you can add almost an intro and a conclusion. Again, it's not an intro conclusion, not like an English essay, right? You want to focus on just, again, we call it like getting the reader excited to read what's going on next as well too. So kind of where you started, add a few stages before that, right? And conclusion tied in at the very end. So you're just adding more at the top, adding more at the end itself there. Someone who's really, really good at this, Coach David. So every other week we alternate me and Coach David teaching. You'll see he's an amazing writer when it comes to these intro and conclusions as well too. A lot of our students, when they get close to that stage, Coach David definitely helps them out with the intro and conclusion parts of that there. All right, so yeah, you're going to add a conclusion and you're getting pretty much done. Then you get to the 650 word count, right? You want to aim to be as close, like 635 or more. Aim for 635 or more, right? But you're like, Coach Tony, you made me do like 4 prompts back here. What's that for, right? Right? Boom, you have like 4 extra prompts. Does anyone know what these extra things are for? When you look at your supplements, they'll ask you to talk about different things as well. So guess what? I'm going to talk about my supplement. I'm going to talk about the Explorer next in this order, right? Explorer next. If they give me another prompt to talk about something else, can I integrate? I talked about family, right? So if family's done, Taekwondo. Let's talk about Taekwondo now, right? You do these 4 to 6 things because you want to share these 4 to 6 things with as many people as you can there. That's why, little pro tip, right? We have students last year applying to over 40 colleges. It's not that hard if you recycle prompts, not copy paste, recycle. Keep the core concepts, adjust it to what? Keep the core concepts, but adjust the prompt to answer the specific supplement question itself. Okay? And that is going to be the key to writing your Common App essay. Very nice. Very nice. Was that helpful? Let me know in the chat if that was helpful for you guys. Kind of a little mini masterclass on how to write this entire thing as well. So that's pretty much it for this training in terms of next steps. If you guys are interested, I have 3 things for you guys today. Number 1, if you want the notes, what do you call this? Common App notes. Text me that, send me a message on Facebook, email, type Common Notes. I'll give you these notes for you. Zoom, here we go, Zoom, for Zoom folks. You guys can have it one more time right there. If you guys want our brainstorm documents, right, essay brainstorm, we have a brainstorm document. And send me a text, email, whatever, essay brainstorm document. We also have a Common App workbook. So those of you guys applying to your Common App, you want a centralized area to store everything to make sure everything's kind of organized as well too. We do have a Common App workbook for that here. And if you guys are interested in like a 15-minute assessment with our team, just to kind of see where you guys are at, assessments with our team, just to see where you guys are at, and if we can give you guys some recommendations on some next steps. Again, same thing. Message me 15-minute assessment as well. Can we have access to all? Yeah, go ahead. And I don't have it on me. If I feel right, yeah, go ahead and message our team. Our team can grab you whatever you guys need. Our coaching families have like the directory of all the replays, but everyone else, you can request them, and we'll give it to you guys access there. Okay. Perfect. That is pretty much it for this training here today. Hopefully you guys found it useful for you guys. Next week, Coach David is going to come back in, do an amazing training for you guys there. So if you guys want to go ahead and tune in, Coach David will be back next week for you guys. That's pretty much it for me. Some upcoming announcements. This weekend, we are hosting our next College App Intensive Workshop for our Long Beach families. So for those of you who are coming, I'll see you guys in person. I'll be there. Coach David will be there in person as well too, so you guys can chat with us. And next weekend, we're hosting our College App Intensive LA at UCLA. So excited for that weekend. Again, same thing, Coach David and I will be in the flesh for that weekend as well to help our seniors with their college essays, specifically their Common App, perhaps their supplements, or any other apps that they're working on. All right, that is pretty much it for me today. Hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for tuning in till the very end. I'll see you guys next week. Chat soon. Be safe. See you next week.